When I see Mbappe playing, he's not the Mbappe that I know.
Flag stays down, could be the hat-trick, is the hat-trick.
The answer seems to be staring us straight in the face. The biggest problem here is Mbappe.
It's Mbappe, oh, puts the defender on the ground and slams it in. That's brilliant.
And the way Mbappe's going, he will be remembered as a great player, but he's never going to be an all-time great.
Mbappe, Thuram, Mbappe! Oh, wow!
And now he has the chance to do it. Chance is running out, but here's Mbappe. They are in front. It's 2 goals for Mbappe. It's 50 for Mbappe.
This season, Kylian Mbappe has come out swinging.
There's Mbappe! There's the hat-trick. Once he was on 2, it seemed inevitable that he would get the 3 tonight.
His numbers are ridiculous.
Kylian Mbappe has started the season with some impressive numbers. 14 goals in just 10 games for Real Madrid.
Every game he's either scoring or assisting.
Mbappe, and still, and he's on his own! And he carries them into a 1-0 lead.
He's looking sharper than ever, because it's not just about the goals and assists. It's the fact that he looks fast again, agile. When he's on the ball, he's punishing defenders just like he used to back in 2022.
Kylian Mbappe's performance today, when you see him play like that, his pace, his understanding where the space was, his finishing, I mean, he was absolutely world class today.
When Madrid needs someone to carry them through the tight moments, Donatello is back to being that guy. He's back to being one of the best players, if not the best player in the world. The craziest part is that Mbappe can get even better, and if he does, then this version of him will be the one that can win the Champions League for Real Madrid. There is a massive difference between the way Mbappe looked last season versus now. In his debut year, he smashed records. He scored 31 goals in La Liga, 44 in all competitions. He became the top scorer for Real Madrid in a debut season and lifted the Pichichi. On paper, it was a dream, but for people who watch closely, something always felt off. He was a bit disconnected from the team. Despite being on the stat sheet, he wasn't always influential.
It's a difficult one because he's still scoring the goals. He's still doing good things. It's just they haven't won anything this season. I think at Real Madrid you're expected to win everything. So I wouldn't like to criticise him and say he's had a bad season because of the goals and everything he's scored. He's top goal scorer in La Liga. Yeah, it's just a difficult one because they haven't won anything.
I know that sounds weird, but it's the truth. He would get a goal or he would get an assist, but when you were watching the match, he wasn't looking like peak Mbappe.
He's still delivering on the pitch, but maybe he's not having those moments.
The attack often looked like 2 separate units. Sometimes it was just Mbappe doing his thing and the rest of the team trying to make sense of it. I mean, how many times do we see multiple Real Madrid players all around each other on the left-hand side of the pitch like it was an orgy? That disjointedness is exactly why Madrid faltered in the big moments. Because despite all of Mbappe's goals, they finished second in La Liga.
Obviously not exactly where we expect ever Real Madrid to be, and Carlo Ancelotti as well. Their only chance now at a trophy is La Liga, and they sit 4 points behind this Barcelona side, and like we mentioned, they play one more time against them.
They lost to Arsenal in the Champions League.
Only 3 in the wall, Rice goes round it! That is absolutely brilliant! Declan Rice breaks the deadlock with a fabulous free kick. It's Rice again. Oh! My goodness! Incredible! This is Declan Rice's night.
And were even eliminated in the Copa del Rey.
Koundé onto it to maybe win the Copa del Rey. Koundé with a killer effort.
In every competition, they fell short of expectation. So what exactly has changed in just a year? Well, the first thing is that Mbappe is doing much better work off the ball and in his pressing. That was a big issue from last year. Sure, he scored 40 plus goals, but he also walked around a lot on the pitch just playing with his balls. This season though, his pressure stats are all up. He's doing 12.47 pressures per 90 versus 12.41 last year. And his high intensity pressures are up to 9.39 per 90 from 8.89 the season before. Now maybe these numbers don't look like a major difference, but it's visible off the eye test. He's doing much more work defensively. He's working a lot harder when Madrid are out of possession. Now he's being more selective. He's not pressing all the time, but he's pressing when it counts. He's doing a great job of cutting off passing lanes, timing his bursts, and pressing opponents in the right areas. This is also something that Xabi Alonso will continue to teach and refine as the season goes along. The other big thing that's changed is his confidence and composure. Last season, you knew something was wrong with Mbappe because even penalties became a struggle for him.
It's Kylian Mbappé, and Keller makes the save!
This guy scored penalties in the biggest competition in the world, in a World Cup final, and now he was missing for fun. But in this new season, he's gone back to being flawless from the spot. When he steps up, you just know it's going to be a goal. In tight games, there's less of a psychological drag, and you can see the swagger in his step. Then, of course, it's the fact that he's scoring and creating both at a very high level. Now, scoring wasn't a problem last season either, but now Mbappe is getting more involved in the build-up. He's creating a lot of chances. He's making those runs that made him who he is. Those fast sprints with the ball tight to his legs, glued to his feet as he dances past everyone. I mean, the sprint he made against Real Oviedo was insane. And that's all part of getting his confidence back. Because there were times last year where genuinely he looked slower. And it made me wonder, how does somebody lose their speed in their prime years? That's all back now. His shot creating actions, key passes, dribbles, everything is trending up. He went from someone who was being questioned about whether he could play as the number 9 to one of the most rounded attackers in the world. Because he's no longer just a finisher, he's back to scoring and creating both at the same time, both at an elite level. The other factor is his mindset and leadership. That aura that he had is back now. He looks way more locked in. You're seeing that both at the international level and for Real Madrid. Like, even when he's playing for France, you can see that he has a hunger to him, a chip on his shoulder. And it makes sense. I mean, imagine scoring 44 goals and yet not winning a single trophy. And then the team that you left, they win the Champions League without you. This entire season is about redemption for Mbappe. And that's why he's carrying himself differently. He's not just waiting for the magic moments to come to him, he's taking full charge. And that mental clarity is going to be huge, especially with how long of a season it's going to be. And then the last factor is obviously the impact of Xabi Alonso. He's been so key coming in for Ancelotti. As soon as he came in, he's like, yep, I'm building this team around you.
At least he doesn't have to worry about his star player. It's the other facets of the game that he's got to consider. How do you get the best balance around Kylian Mbappe? Is it Vinicius? Is it Mastantuono on one side? Is it Arda Güler, as Robbo mentioned, behind?
And it's good to see, because at one point there were serious debates about whether it's Vinny's team or Mbappe's team.
At one point, Vinny was running away with being the guy at Real Madrid. And now Mbappe, he's the reference point.
Which, to be honest, never made any sense to me, because even the worst version of Mbappe is still better than the best version of Vinny. And we saw that last season.
We're seeing Kylian Mbappe has become the guy at Real Madrid, which was always going to happen.
So Alonso's built a system where Mbappe's strengths are really amplified. He's the main guy in the middle. He has the freedom to move around. Yes, he still ends up in those left half spaces, but he just has more freedom to circle. And now he's surrounded with players who give him width, players that can help him with the creativity. I mean, just the fact that Alonso's playing Arda Güler more is a big reason why Mbappe's been able to get more goals. Like, there's an actual number 10 behind him, someone that can create chances for Mbappe. And we've seen the guy is at his best when he's running in behind, using his speed, and then putting the ball in the back of the net. Ancelotti never even played Arda, so Mbappe was missing a creator. The structure that Alonso has set up means that Mbappe is very rarely isolated. Yes, he drifts around, but he always has support, whether it's Vinny, Arda, Bellingham, Mastantuono. There's somebody everywhere that can get him the ball. And that's a major upgrade, because it allows Mbappe to just become a goal machine. And everybody on the team knows their role. It's to get the ball to him. There's already been so many key moments that have shown just how much Mbappe is evolving. Against Marseille in the Champions League, Madrid fell behind. The game looked like it could slip, but then Mbappe stepped up.
Job done, dispatched, and he's got it.
Yes, there were 2 penalties, but they still came at clutch times. Someone has to step up and score these. But beyond the goals, Mbappe was also everywhere that match. He was leading the press. He was pushing Marseille back. He was really doing a great job of punishing them in transition. So yes, people will focus on the fact that his goals were pens there, but what I saw was an attacker showing his whole package, in the performance. And then of course you have his hat-trick against Kyra.
Mbappe scores this one as Mbappe streaks through and clips the ball over Calmerza. Clinical. There's Mbappe. There's the hat-trick.
Yes, this is lesser opposition. It's not the biggest game in the world, but it was another match that showed where Mbappe's confidence was. His movement, his pressing, his positioning. It all screamed a player playing with the highest level of confidence. He was demanding the ball and just punishing their defense the whole time. The hat-trick also pushed them passed a big milestone. It was his 60th Champions League goal, putting him alongside elite scorers in the biggest European competition. If he wasn't there, who knows? Maybe Madrid dropped points. You can only play who's in front of you, and Mbappe did a fantastic job in punishing them. Then in La Liga, he demolished Real Sociedad. Any defensive hesitation from them, he punished with his speed. He consistently got him behind the back line, and his finishing has been unbelievable. I mean, some of the power Mbappe generates from his shots is unreal, because you watch it on TV and he looks off balance, and then in like a half second, the ball is smashed into the back of the net. What we are seeing now is classic Mbappe, a player who not only scores, but influences play at all phases. And that's going to be the key for Real Madrid, having a player like this in those big matches. I mean, if you looked at his performances last season, he only got better and better as the season went on. I mean, you look at El Clasico. First El Clasico, he didn't know what offsides are. In the Super Cup, he was the only good Madrid player on the pitch. Like, seriously, he was the only guy doing damage.
Mbappe scores! The man for the occasion!
He came off the bench in the Copa del Rey and almost won it for them.
Mbappe goalwards and in! Kylian Mbappe has come on in this final and got Real Madrid level.
And then of course in the last El Clasico, I mean, he did what he could. The guy scored a hat trick and his team still lost 4-3. So maybe it shouldn't come as a surprise that he's been so good again. He's already the top goal scorer in La Liga, and there's no indication that he's gonna stop. And that's been the most impressive thing about him, is the consistency. He has scored in nearly every single game. Like at one point he had 10 out of Madrid's 18 goals. Now of course that kind of dependency has risk, which I will get into later in the video, but it also shows you how central he's become. His finishing has genuinely never been better. It's so sharp. He's scoring from certain angles that you would never think he's going to score from. His composure is back. Chances that he would have easily missed last season are being buried now. He only needs like one or two opportunities. Take the game against Atletico Madrid. They got slapped that game. Barely created any chances. But the first opportunity they made, Mbappe put it beautifully into the back of the net. Like one through ball, tight angle, and he finds the corner. Then of course there's the penalty things I told you about. That's a big factor. People gloss over it. Last year they literally had to gift him pens to try and bring his confidence up, and even then he was still missing. Now there's no debates about who takes it. Alonso has made it very clear Mbappe is the penalty kick guy, and the fact that he's executing them so flawlessly means that he's mentally ready for those tight matches. And then of course, as I discussed earlier, his involvement in the build-up. We're not talking about a guy who's just waiting in the box, tapping in goal. We're talking about someone that's dropping deep, getting the ball, and then carrying it himself. He's far more integrated. He's constantly touching the ball. In fact, I think sometimes he's too involved. I think Alonso will try and find him in spaces where he can be more direct again. Because again, there's no one in world football who's more dangerous on the transition, getting him behind the back line, on the move, than Kylian Mbappe. I already spoke about his confidence and mindset, and the doubt is completely gone. He looks like a player who's actually enjoying playing football. And then of course it's a better system, let's be real. Alonso's system is much better fit for Mbappe than what Ancelotti was using. Like Ancelotti would play Vini and Rodrigo no matter their form. Alonso actually drops players who don't play well. And I saw Madrid fans complaining that he never brings Mbappe out. When you're playing at this level, why would he bring Donatello out? He's head and shoulders better than everyone else on the team. Now there are some weaknesses and risks as the season goes by. The first one I discussed earlier, and that's over-reliance. Madrid lean heavily on Mbappe now, especially since Vini isn't the same Vini as before. He's had some great performances, but that consistency isn't there. Sometimes he plays a really good game, and then the next game he's not as good. So if Mbappe is off, whether he's out of form, injured, or gets suspended, the team's attack will really struggle. Madrid's depth will be tested a lot this season. Then, although Mbappe's pressing has gotten better, there are still defensive lapses. There are still times where he's walking around, and that's probably a big reason why Madrid have been opened up every time they play an elite team. So I don't think it's an Mbappe issue, but there's a reason these guys got slapped by PSG in the Club World Cup, slapped by Atletico Madrid. Their pressing needs to get better as a unit, or elite teams are just gonna break them down. And then of course there's the fatigue risk. That kind of goes hand in hand with the over-reliance. When you're involved in the scoring, creating, pressing, even being the leader, there's a big toll mentally and physically. Now it's not something new for Mbappe. He did it for the French national team, he did it for PSG, but as we saw in those campaigns, over a full season, maintaining that level can be challenging. He's going to need help all around if Madrid are to win the Champions League and La Liga. But the good thing is there is balance across the squad. They finally have a natural right winger. Their defense looks better. There are still issues that need to be ironed out, but for now, the best thing for Madrid is that Kylian Mbappe is firing on all cylinders. Because when they get to the business end of the season, when you get to the Champions League knockout, you're going to play against tighter defenses. There's going to be more pressure, more mistakes. Even world-class players can struggle in those tight matches. But now Madrid have a guy who can deliver in those moments. Someone that can just take over the game when they need him. It's a very high bar, but with this team, they always have a shot of bringing home silverware. Now, of course, certain things have to align. Mbappe has to stay healthy and consistent. They need him more than anybody else. This is the guy that's going to deliver them the goal. But on top of that, the supporting cast also has to step up. Vinny, Bellingham, Goulet, they all need to be there. Because as we have seen in Mbappe's career, if he's the one getting all the goals, if he's doing the best work individually, that doesn't always mean the team accolades are going to come. Again, I don't think it's a coincidence that PSG won the Champions League as soon as he left. And then the last factor is the tactical flexibility that Alonso will need to show. Against elite teams in the knockout rounds, he's going to have to tweak the system. He's going to have to adapt to what the opposition is doing. Because the biggest issue with Madrid has been their defensive solidity and lack of compactness against the better team. They need to reduce those lapses and tighten up at the back. That's the only way that they can give themselves a chance in every single tie. If all of that comes together, this Mbappe-led version of Real Madrid can win it all. And I don't think there's anybody who wants that more than Mbappe himself. He was the laughing stock of the entire footballing world in the 2025 season. Everybody took their turns to get their shots in at him.
He was taking shots when he shouldn't have done. He had too many players around him. The shot wasn't on, but yet he still tried it. If you've got 3 players on you, get your head up and pick the right pass.
Done nothing, has he? Done nothing really in his 3 league games.
And the way Mbappe's gone, he will be remembered as a great player, but he's never going to be an all-time great.
And now he's here to silence all those critics. To see just how good the entire Madrid team around Mbappe is, you have to check out this video right here.